It's really easy. It's nothing to be scared of, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to do it. When you first open up Photoshop, it's going to show you your most recent work. So this is all of my most recent work that I have worked on before. If you have just now opening up Photoshop for the first time, there won't be anything here. You may have some little tutorials that may pop up like it has up here. It has some different, usually different tutorials that can help you in Photoshop, and then they have some things over here like just expand your knowledge. So definitely try those out to learn a little bit more about Photoshop. But if you don't have anything here and you're just starting from fresh, I'm going to show you guys how to open up a canvas. What you're going to do is go to New File up here in the left hand corner. Then if you have a template or something like that, you would just double click on that template wherever you have it saved on your computer, and it will open up in Photoshop. But if you're working with a brand new canvas, like I like to make a base design before I put everything over into my templates. So if you were doing something like that, then you would decide how big or small you want your design to be, your canvas to be. So you may have some of these already pre-done from Photoshop here. If you don't see this, that's fine. It'll just build up on its own. You can go over here to the right hand corner over here and you can change this to any numbers that you want. I like to work like with 1080 by 1080 pixels when I'm doing a base design, or like 12 by 12 or 8 by 8, just something like square. But let's say if you wanted to do 12 by 12 and you don't want to deal with pixels. Pixels is just Photoshop's like image language. You don't have to worry about none of that. You can just go in here and switch it to inches and then change it to whatever you want it to be. So say we did 12 by 12 here, and if you had did like 12 by 15, something like that, you can change the orientation, but since it's even all across, we're just gonna leave that orientation there. You don't need to really mess with any of these things for right now. Just leave it the way that it is and select create. Photoshop would then make you a canvas and it's blank, and from here this is where all the magic comes from. So let's get familiar with everything in front of you, and from here then you can know how to navigate Photoshop. Now for some of you on your, it most likely will look different to you as where mine is, because it's a little bit more organized. And if it's your first time in Photoshop, it is learning how you design, or how, you're going to have to move everything around to where it fits your style. So, but the things that I want you to be more familiar with is going to be over here, which is your toolbar. So in the left hand corner, it may look like this on yours. If it does, and you don't want it to be this long, you can just click those little arrows at the top left hand corner and you can make it go like this. You can also edit this to match the way that you want it. I edited mine because these are the tools that I use the most. Okay, so now the move tool, so I'm going to get a better understanding. I'm going to use a previous design while I'm explaining the toolbar so that you can get a better understanding of what they do. So when you have the move tool selected, it moves everything on your canvas. So if you want to move something around, that's what it does. Okay, so that is the move tool. The lasso tool selects something. So if you have something that is a part of a design that you want to change, or you don't want to change the entire design, you just want to change parts of it. Like when I was designing this little girl's hair, both of these buns were not perfect. I had to play around with it. And so what I did was, in order to like remove the one that I didn't like, I used the lasso tool. So to show you how I did that, just using the lasso tool, I'm just gonna select it. And from here, I can actually go back to my move tool And it brings up this box around it, and I can just move that around. I know it looks kind of crazy, but that's kind of what I did when I was fixing her. Next tool that I like is the Magic Wand tool. It's kind of like the lasso tool. It does a selection, and if you have something that is pretty like flat or one color, it'll pick it up really well, and it'll just select it. So like say that I wanted to select this 3. You see how I just gave it that outline automatically? It was one solid color, so it was pretty easy for it to find the edges. And so if I wanted to play around with this, I could, just like how I did with her hair, but I don't. So deselect that. The brush tool. Now the brush tool, what I like to do with this, if I have some imperfections in certain things, say that we kind of wanted to cover up these splashes right here, say it was in the way of your wording. A lot of times you see that people kind of just leave a background where it doesn't really look good up against the words, but they can't do any editing with the background. This is a great time with using your brush. So select your brush, and then you would change your color by going down here, selecting the foreground color. It will bring you up a color picker, and select whatever color you want to cover this up with. I want it to be the same color as that white, so I'm just going to select that and press OK. Then I have my brush that is this circle right here. If your cap locks is on, it will look like crosshairs. If it's off, it will be a circle. And then you can just basically cover up what you don't like. The next one is the eraser tool. You can do the same thing with the eraser tool that you kind of did with the brush. However, if your background has like a white background or something like that, it can be transparent, so be careful with that. But say you want to make some edits to some of your clip art or whatever, this is what the eraser tool would be for. You would just do some erasing, whatever you're wanting to erase.